already know, man, it's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Welcome to another week of Real Deal Sports Show. Unbelievable that football is almost back again. It's the hot topic because we're talking NFL draft. This week, we're going to have a nice draft show for you here on Real Deal Sports Show, talking sports of all sorts from 8 to 9 a.m. every Saturday morning here. But we're live from the Rock Palm Broker Studios, as we always broadcast live from Rock Palm Broker Studios each and every Saturday morning. The Bills brought back one of my favorite guys, Tre'Davious White, on a one-year deal worth up to as much as $6.8 million. Yep.
They got him back.
He's going. It's a Radman Red. He's starting off hot. What's the news, Radman? Break it down for us.
The hot news is Tre'Davious White is back in the fold. We're glad to have him back. He has experience. He comes in at it says up to $6.8 million. That means he's probably getting $5 million possibly, and then be able to, if he hit incentives during the season for the entire season, the different incentives in his contract, it could be worth up to $6.8 million. That's a no-brainer move by Brandon Beane. You need the experience. He knows the defensive system. It's just that his body just gave out. If his body didn't give out, 2 knee surgeries, the ruptured Achilles, we've seen. I never forget the Thanksgiving night down there in New Orleans, Louisiana, on Thanksgiving night when he first tore his ACL in that game, and it was like, oh, I hate to see that. And then the ruptured Achilles. He just hopefully, if he can get some luck with his body, he can hang in there. He can do well, and he could be a big advantage to the Buffalo Bills. So that's a good move for the Bills, especially going into draft week where they're gonna need to draft some quarterbacks. So Brandon Beane is off to a good start. Let's see what him and also the scouts have come up for the Buffalo Bills and see what the Bills can do with the upcoming NFL draft, which is less than a week. Can't believe it's less than a week away. Seems like we just got back from Super Bowl down there in New Orleans, Louisiana. But man, but Radman.
I'm trying to figure out. I want to get your thoughts on this, and you as well, J-GILLZ, and for the public. You had Tre'Davious White. Some could argue Brandon Beane essentially went to the used car lot, saw a nice looking vehicle that was familiar. He went over, he just kicked the tires, and he said, I can make this happen. Wow. We still had other players out there like Ronald Darby. We had Rasul Douglas still out there as well. Why do you think out of all those free agents, also former Bill Levi Wallace, another free agent, why do you think out of all those guys, they went with someone who, a fan favorite, but had a lot of wear and tear, has trouble staying healthy throughout a whole season? Tre'Davious White. Is there anything else there that you think that's why that happened?
Off the field, he's a good guy. He's a good-spirited guy. He knows the system. He's very well educated, knows how to play the game. If you would have saw him after the Bills defeated the Baltimore Ravens in the playoff game back in January at Highmark Stadium, everybody came up to him. Brandon Beane gave him a hug. I mean, we talked with him. Me and J-GILLZ, we talked to him there in the tunnel. Josh Allen, when we left him and Josh Allen was hugging up, talking and everything. Even the cleaning people that clean up the stadium came over and shook his hand, man, and said, man, they were glad to see that he was back on the football field. Right, J-GILLZ?
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, Radman. After that game, I mean, it was a very emotional moment for Trey White. You know, as he sat in the tunnel, I mean, he was the last one to leave. You know, normally after the games, those guys that get right in the bus, they was all waiting on Trey. You know what I'm saying? Trey was right there mingling with the Buffalo Bills. So to your point of Internet Passport, you're absolutely right. When you look at the talent, you know, my mind goes back to when he had got that injury a couple years ago, right there at Highmark Stadium, and he tore his ACL and was done for the year. You know, so when you talk about him on the field, I don't think that it's the right idea at all. I wouldn't have got him. But we talk about him off the field. You talk about him in the locker room, him being a leader. You know, this is definitely up their alley. Brandon Beane, Shawn McDermott, this is what they do. They bring back their guys. And Trey White was definitely one of their guys moving forward. So I know we're going to get into the draft a little later. But looking at a move like this, I hope that the Bills go ahead and draft the secondary, because you can't keep on getting these washed up, old, beat down, broken players in the secondary, from Rasul Douglas to Levi Watt, all the ones you named in that passport. They got to get younger. Bringing back Micah Hyde, you know what I mean? They got to get younger. But I do like it for the sentiment in the leadership perspective. But definitely on the field, he's not going to get it done.
And I have to agree with you, J-GILLZ. I can see both sides, J-GILLZ and Radman, where unfortunately Trey White, where he is in his career is just it's a little bit rough. It's a little bit rough. However, I think that he's coming in the backup role, like you said, a mentorship role, 1-year deal, a low amount of money, 6.8. I think he's going to be able to contribute in the pinch if we have one of our starters go down there on the edge. And I think that Shawn McDermott, they're going to shift a little bit more to man. That's something Trey White excels at very well. So hopefully that will be able to work out. But for him, if he was coming in for a starting role, no. If he was coming in for a starting role, that would be.
You don't find that suspicious?
Yeah, that would be a little too much for me. That would be a little too much for me. But it is what it is. They're filling in the need that Buffalo does have when it comes to that cornerback into that secondary. And we do expect them to add to that defensive side of the ball, especially when it comes to that cornerback position. But he's going to be added in. He's a well-respected veteran. He's good around the league, good on the field and off the field as well. And I think for where he's coming in now, I think it's going to be something good to see. But I still just wonder in the back of my mind, the Bills still gave away a draft pick to have Rasul Douglas. And now that he's out in the free agent, you don't want to end up bringing him back. Instead, you go with a one could argue someone a little bit more broke up. But we will see if he's able to stay healthy and put it all together. Then he's going to be a great addition to the Buffalo Bills defense.
When you talk about Rasul Douglas, the reason he's on the market is he's still trying to get his money, and Brandon Beane is not going to pay him for what we saw on the field. They'll go and draft a corner or bring back a guy like Trey White to be a reserve. But Rasul Douglas, he's on the market right now because he's looking to get paid, and ain't nobody about to pay him.
No, not coming off that knee injury, and when he wasn't on the knee injury, he was all right. He wasn't outstanding, but he was all right. The Bills just paid Christian Benford. He got his bag. So you know Rasul Douglas not going to get his with Buffalo. And I think the blueprint is what the Philadelphia Eagles just did a year ago. They drafted 2 rookie cornerbacks. Both of them started. They started on both sides. People don't realize they had 2 rookie cornerbacks on the entire season start for them in the Super Bowl. So that's the blueprint, is getting these young guys, these young players, and building your team around these young guys and playing them and winning with those guys on the defense. And that's what the Eagles did. They drafted most of their defensive line was from the University of Georgia, and then they added the rookie cornerbacks. They added the safety, and they hit pay dirt the entire season. Those guys were able to play, nurture, grow, and also become Super Bowl champions at the end of their rookie seasons. That's what I think the blueprint is right now for teams in the National Football League. Because the Philadelphia Eagles, they're loaded, man. They're loaded for the next 3-4 years with the talent that they gotten rid of good talent. They make it so bad. They got rid of 2 or 3, about 6 guys from that Super Bowl team that just won a couple months ago. Those guys are gone, and they got the next heir apparent already on the roster, where they really don't even have to draft hard this year, but they already got the next heir apparent to those guys already on the roster. What we got coming up today is Super Bowl. This Super Bowl Sunday and Saturday in the cannabis world. You want to read that, J-GILLZ? What does that say, J-GILLZ?
Oh man, MJ Dispensary 420 event. Not 419, not today. 420. We all know what that is. Tomorrow, Saturday. Today, Saturday, April 19th, from noon to 6 at 900 Jefferson Road, Suite 902. You got the DJ, we got the food trucks, you got the vendors and giveaways presented by who? Blue Toad and MJ Dispensary. Again, that's today, Saturday, April 19th, from noon to 6, 900 Jefferson Road, Suite 902. You got the DJ, you got the food trucks, you got the vendors and giveaways presented by Blue Toad and MJ Dispensary. See you there.
They are throwing it down today. So get on out there, people. If you're into that, that's your thing. They got the big tent set up. Yeah, the rain is raining now, but that rain is due to pass on through. Come on out, get under the big tent. and
That
check
rain
out.
gonna make it real nice. It's gonna be about 70 degrees. Go ahead, you know what I mean? Enjoy yourself. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Well, weather-wise, it's gonna be a little gloomy, but the heat gonna be there. So make sure to stop on through 900 Jefferson Road, Suite 902.
There we go. And we got our first guest of the day coming up. Our first guest is about to join us. And here we go with our second Super Bowl Sunday event coming up. Pastor Daryl Scott of Memorial AME Zion Church joins us on Real Deal Sports Show. Welcome to the show, Dr. Pastor Reverend Daryl Scott. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Absolutely.
And can you tell the community about you being new to Rochester? Can you tell us about your history? Just a little bio information.
Absolutely. So I'm from a small town called Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It was where I spent my formative years through grade school and things of that nature. I spent the last 5 years in Charlotte, North Carolina, pastoring the Walls Memorial, the good people of the Walls Memorial AME Zion Church there in the Queen City. And as of November 1st, the first Sunday in November, the Lord has blessed us to be able to serve the great people of the Memorial AME Zion Church here in Rochester, New York. And I am having a blast.
Yeah, and you also have some basketball history. You played college basketball, high school college basketball?
I did. So I played, of course, high school basketball, and then I played college basketball at a D2 school called Lees McRae College in Banner Elk, North Carolina. Appalachian State is here, and then 17 miles up the mountain, you'll find Lees McRae College. So we had a good time, and we did our best to do what we could those 4 years there.
Absolutely. I did have a first question just on the sports side of it. What do you think of the NIL now? How does that change the game? Do you wish you were back in college now with the NIL opportunities, or what's your take on that?
Well, I'm glad that I didn't come through on the NIL circuit because I wasn't good enough to make any money, and so the D2 schools that picked up the second tier talent probably would have been picking top tier talent and paying them. But as far as the kids that are playing now, I love it. I love it. Simply, it has a lot of issues, but I love it for the simple fact that gentlemen and ladies have been making money off these amateurs with pro skills for years, and the fact that they have opportunities to be compensated for their gifts rather than used for their abilities, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. J-GILLZ. Absolutely. So talk to us, as a former athlete yourself. Right now we're in a peak time in the NBA. Just had a quick question. What are your thoughts on, the play-in just being completed? First round, we got the NBA playoffs all ready to go. Who's your favorite? We're gonna get it exclusively from you, Pastor Daryl Scott, right now. Before any games played, who are you picking to win it all?
Who am I picking to win it all? Well, you can have Ant-Man, Superman, or the Mailman.
Oh man, I know where you're going with this one.
Lakers and
vibes. Okay. All right,
no, I am a huge Philadelphia 76er fan. My favorite player of all time is Allen Iverson, and when I was enamored by his game, I liked the Sixers, and I never left them. What has made me kind of pull for the Lakers is the LeBron slander. No, he's not Michael Jordan. He is number 2. No, he's not Michael Jordan. No, he's not the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But the LeBron, when he went to Miami, I ain't gonna say hate, but I didn't like LeBron. But the LeBron slander as of the last 7 years or so has made me pull for him. And I think they got a good shot. I think they can. And I mean, the Timberwolves is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I think whoever wins is going to win in 6 or 7 games. But I'm leaning toward the Lakers. I think the Lakers have a good shot over whoever, whether it's the Rockets or the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
And then after that, let's see if OKC's youth can carry them to carry them to the chill. I think they're capable. You know, you got vets on the other side that's been there and done that. So anybody that plays, I'm going ahead, stamp it. You know, if you're a betting man, I'm not. Go ahead and put your money on Boston because Boston is going to be there, and whoever comes out of the West, it's going to have their hands full with Boston.
Well, I mean, hey, I can't be mad at the Lakers Celtics finals at all. You know, I think that's what the NBA needs right now. That's what it sounds like. That's the projection. I can't be mad at that at all, Pastor Daryl Scott.
Yes, sir.
It's a thing. And faith in sports side of it. Back when we had the Damar Hamlin medical emergency that took place on the football field, it brought in the religious aspect because you saw everyone praying. But me and J-GILLZ, we're in the locker rooms each week and at training camp, and we always see guys praying, and we see guys showing their faith. What's your take on faith in sports, and especially in the professional sports side?
I think they correlate. I think there are a lot of lessons. In fact, I am. Y'all pray for me. I'm working on a piece that I'm hoping to publish. I'm working on a piece entitled "The Athletic Preacher," where we talk about how the rigors of preparation for sports meets the rigors in preparation for preaching. So I think they correlate. I have, even before I ran from my call, but even before I acknowledged the call to ministry, all of my teammates, both middle school, high school, college, had me pray before the games. And now I see it through my son. Unwarranted, his AAU coach came to me a couple weeks ago and said, I didn't ask for him, but your son, and I didn't tell him, he never knew that I did it. Your son just called the team together and we prayed before every game. So I celebrate Christian athletes. There's a host of organizations that, kind of lift their banner without, beating people over the head with the Bible, just saying, hey, we love Jesus and we love sports. So it's a great thing in my eyes. It's a great thing in my eyes. I do not like Under Armour's, I guess, fashion appeal. However, the fact that Steph Curry said no to Nike because he couldn't put "I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me" on his shoe, speaks volumes to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Pastor. I'm right there with you. Faith in sports, that's something that I lean on as well. And, we're starting to see it everywhere in sports. It's not just the NFL. It's not just the NBA, WNBA. It's literally everywhere. And it's trickling down to our youth. Going back to what we first talked about with the NIL. I mean, we got high school kids right now, making money, but glorifying the name of Jesus. And that's all over the nation right now. So we got to definitely put that on the forefront, man. So this is a beautiful thing to see. And it's growing. And it takes guys like a Jalen Hurts, like a Tua Tagovailoa, guys like that who Steph Curry, as you mentioned, they're not afraid to wear their faith. It's so many afraid to, they got their other opinions, like Joey Bosa. It's guys out there that's definitely toting their ideology. So you got to give credit to those guys, not afraid to put their faith on the front line.
Amen.
Absolutely. And tomorrow's a big day. I call it for Super Bowl Sunday in the Christian community. What does that mean to what's this overall importance to our listening audience?
See, it's 2 days, right, man? You got to clarify that. Because before
let me straighten me up
that day. Come on now, you got to clarify that. I ain't going to Pastor Scott. I got you. We talking about Easter. You got to clarify, Radman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Easter Sunday. Maybe I personally call it the Super Bowl Sunday of the Christian community, Easter Sunday. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Thank you, J-GILLZ.
You know what's funny? I mean, it is what it is. But you know what's funny? The fact that you all had me as a guest, and I'm so grateful. I shared the live stream on our church page. And the moment I hit share, we were talking about the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was hilarious.
Internet Passport, that's our producer. We gotta tie that in a little better. Internet Passport.
Hey, that's how we do it, man. That's how we do it here on the Real Deal Sports Show with the Radman. Sports of all sorts. Do it all, baby.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. But yes, tomorrow is a Super Bowl. It is a Super Bowl Sunday. One of the biggest Sundays of the year. In fact, it rivals only Mother's Day and back to school in the barbershop. In the barbershop, this is the biggest weekend, one of the biggest weekends of the year, because those that have at least a spiritual awakening as to, what it's all about, whether you are immensely connected to traditions or the religious faith, a vast majority just going to church on Easter. Now, it has shifted. I don't know what it's like in Rochester, but it has shifted. I want to say the last 10 years. Sad to say, Easter hasn't been as huge as it was when I was a child, as huge as I was in a child. However, this is the pinnacle day. Everything we do in church hinges on this day, the day that they hung him on a hill that looked like a skull. They put nails in his hand, rivets in his feet, a braided briar bandana on his head. Blood came streaming down and he died. Now, he wasn't just asleep. He wasn't in a coma. He was dead. So he died. But early on Sunday morning, he got up with all power in his hands. That's why we give God glory. That's why we come to church. That's why we spread our faith, is because of the ultimate atoning sacrifice that he made for us. And I was jacked up from the flow up. And if when I realized what the sacrifice he made for me and allowed me to spread the good news of what he did for everyone, and he didn't just do it for me. He's the Lamb of God that takes away for the sins of the whole world. So tomorrow is the day that we commemorate. Tomorrow is the day that we celebrate. And I'm so excited to be able to have my first Easter Sunday here in the city of Rochester.
Excellent. J-GILLZ.
Amen. Definitely. We happy to have that right here on the Real Deal Sports. You preaching for us on a beautiful Saturday morning, and we definitely appreciate that.
Yes,
Amen.
sir.
Yes, indeed. And we appreciate you coming on Real Deal Sports Show. And I know it's one of the last thing in college. You said, me and you were talking off air a while back, and you were saying Duke is your that's your college team.
Yes. I am a diehard Duke fan, and we had a special season. Lord have mercy. I'm about to tear up. There wasn't a team on any court, top to bottom, that had the talent that we had. But I like Duke. I like this Duke team because it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. And we just felt like giving the game to the Houston Cougars. I don't know why they felt so generous. I don't know why they wanted to be a blessing to Houston, why they were this close to being able to, win the championship. But we literally said, hey, you want this? You can have it. But it was a great season overall. I'm seeing them one by one. Concanoopul is gone to the NBA. He's going to make for a great, I don't think he'll be a star, but he's going to be a great NBA player. He is way bigger than many people realize. I went to the Syracuse game and I went to the Illinois game in Madison Square Garden. And these guys on this team are like 6'6", and they look small on TV, but they like 6'6". I mean, Tyrese Proctor 6'6". Concanoopul is 6'7", 6'8". Cooper, he is about 6'10". So these guys are huge, and I'm sure more announcements from Coop and Malawatch is going to be coming out soon. But this was a special season. It was a special season.
Absolutely. And that's why he played the games, because it was obvious they were favored in that contest. Duke was favored. And when you play the game, and it's rare to see Duke make mistakes at the end of the game. Usually we're so used to Coach K's teams back in the day, always finding a way with Leitner and all of those guys, finding a way to win the game. It was rare to see, and good to see finally that they can make mistakes Duke can finally make mistakes at the end of a contest. And as you put it, they gave it away.
Yeah.
Gave that.
Wait a second, Radman. Are we gonna let that slide? Are we just gonna let that go? Wait. Hold.
What's that now?
Uh-oh.
The
Lord don't even like
Password
the Lord don't
froze
even like what he about to say. He ain't even gonna let him get it out.
I'm sorry. It's just when I know it's just when they lost. I was going with Houston, wanted to ride with them. You know, I don't hate Duke except when they're playing. When they're playing, I said, I don't mind if they go down, man. It is something about them, man. Them and the fans, I don't know, but when they lost and they were just choking at the end of the game, hey. I was just like, sounds about right. They're gonna be fine, moving up to the next level, man. We just have to let them go, man. But hey, since they lost, I know it's okay. It's okay. It's always next year. Duke is gonna be in there for you, Pastor. Duke is gonna be in there for you.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you for coming on and taking time out your busy schedule, Pastor Daryl Scott of Memorial AME Zion Church. Thank you for coming on. We look forward to having you back on again with talking sports of all sorts.
I love it. Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Take care. All right. Internet Passport. I know you're up next. You got a question for J-GILLZ?
Oh, yes, sir, we do. And just want to be able just to mention again that once again that MJ Dispensary is having their 420 event there today, Saturday, April 19th, noon to 6 p.m. at 900 Jefferson Road, Suite 902. There's going to be a DJ, food truck vendors, and giveaways. And this is all presented to you by Blue Toad and MJ Dispensary. Go check it out.
Yes,
But yes, there, Radman. Yes, there is, Radman. I wanted to ask J-GILLZ about what's happening over there in Miami when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. There's been some word coming out. You know, we ended up having the Bills sign Tre'Davious White back, but it seems like over there in Miami, there may be a little trouble in paradise with another defensive back. And I wanted to reach out to our main contact, J-GILLZ, about what's happening with that cornerback there. J-GILLZ, is there any update?
Man, well, it's looking like, Jalen Ramsey will be on his, fifth NFL team in his career, sixth NFL team. He's a guy who's always on the go. You just can't seem to get it right, whether it's in Jacksonville, whether it's in Los Angeles with the Rams. Now we're seeing it with Miami. He'll be on to his next team after getting a fully guaranteed $25 million contract. The Dolphins did what they had to do on their end. They paid the man. He clearly doesn't like the direction that the team is going in, and that's totally fine. The Dolphins went from being one of the oldest teams in the NFL, top five, to now we're going to, especially once he's gone, we're going to be one of the top 10 youngest teams in the
Carl,
NFL.
if you're around, feel free to come on.
So when you're talking about what's going on there with the Dolphins, I'm not surprised at all. He was an all pro 3 years in a row, I believe, with the last 2 years with Miami. So it is what it is at this point with him. But one thing that we have to go to the facts is when you talk about the Dolphins organization, you can look right now. They were the only team out of the players to do their survey that had a straight A's on everything from the facilities to the treatment of the families so come on, man. You talking about that's a top level organization when you talk about how they treat their players. That's the proof is in the pudding. But ultimately, Jalen Ramsey didn't like the direction that the team was going in. I can't fault him at that. He's definitely an aging cornerback trying to get another ring. So go ahead and trade him, see if you can get a third round pick for him and keep it moving. So clear that $12 million off your books.
And I will have to say, I remember a Radman said this to us years ago, where if you see a very talented or even a star player, and this is almost in any league, but especially in the NFL, that is moving from team to team, they're performing well at each team, but it seems like they release him, they trade him, they do a short-term deal, and he's not re-signed. There is a reason why. And Jalen Ramsey, as we can see, his reputation unfortunately precedes him. And so now It looks like Miami said, you know what? It's time for us to move on. There's something going on, and he's going to be out there soon. Who knows if it's going to be a trade or release, but a lot of things can happen, especially with the draft coming up. And I think it's going to be interesting to see. Go ahead.
Looking at the books, it wouldn't make sense for the Dolphins to release him or trade him before June 1st, just because that's going to be a $23 million cap hit on the books that the Dolphins just simply can't afford. Now, after the June 1st after the June 1st, we can trade him after the June 1st deadline and save $12 million. So, everything with this draft is going to be what it is. I don't believe he's going to get traded unless a team is going to eat up that money, which I don't see. With this cornerback market right now in the draft, it's a pretty decent market. We'll get into that a little later when we talk Buffalo Bills draft, but I definitely see him being a post-June 1st trade, and the Dolphins maximizing that money that we're going to save, as well as getting some draft picks for next year. So it's just about where he's going to go. I'm not sure they'll trade him to the AFC, but I know Jalen Ramsey would be a great addition for the Bills. The Dolphins definitely won't be doing that. Or the Ravens. No. I don't see them doing that either. But you got to look at your NFC teams, possibly, like you said, you got those two young guys in Philly. So, he's played for Vic Fangio before. They didn't get along. But you got Detroit Lions as an option. Minnesota Vikings as an option. So it's definitely some options for him. But like I said, save me that $12 million and give me that go ahead and give me that third round pick. And I got one for you, Fanatic, Internet Passport and Radman, since we talking about the Dolphins. You know what Chris Greer said? He said 2 number 1 picks, and he'll trade Tyreek Hill too. And I'm here to endorse that message.
Okay, you endorse that one, man. Chris, you got a lot of faith in Chris Greer, man. All right, he gonna make that move there. Something you said in your comments there. You said he didn't get along with Vic Fangio. That's in Philly, so that's someplace he probably won't be able to go.
Right.
And that was Mike Tomlin, Internet Passport, that I was quoting. Mike Tomlin said, when you see a guy move from team to team to team, and you see him on Sundays playing so well and doing well, you say, wow, why does he get traded so much? It's because what he does from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily on a daily basis, what you don't see in the building, when they come into our building and work out, that's why you see some of these guys. It's because of what goes on during the week, not on game day on Sundays. And I think Jalen Ramsey is another victim of that, of what goes on during the week with how he practiced, the whole 9, the attitude, the whole 9 yards. It's a lot of factors. But
after getting paid $25 million, right, man? Come on.
Hey, he might think he part owner of the team, man. He get paid that kind of money, man. $25 million, man. Hey, man. We just don't know. But Mike Tomlin, that's one great thing that Mike Tomlin said, and you watch it, and you sure do see it happen in all these different sports of why people get moved from team to team to team. And our next segment is brought to you by our award-winning Marion Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585-360-0094. If she saved us a hell of a lot of money, the Radney family, I know she can save you and your family a hell of a lot of money on Auto, Home, Health, and Life, and also those spring and summer toys, the boats, the motorcycles, the ATV vehicles, all of that. She can save you that insurance money on those items as well. Internet Passport.
Yes, sir. And just continuing on with our AFC East roundup, I want to move on to another player who he's a future Hall of Famer, used to play for the New York Jets and had a disastrous exit from that team. He's now a free agent, and the Steelers were looking at him, a guy who I just enjoy to hate.
Got a rant coming up.
His name is Aaron Rodgers. And Stephen A. Smith used to call him a bad man. But now I'm just calling him the mean old man that says, kids, get off my lawn. It's like, why is Grandpa Rodgers so mean and surly? I think he needs to go ahead, get his mind right, take some ayahuasca, whatever he needs to do there. And if he wants to play some more football, go on ahead. But he's one person where the Jets were like, in their position, they looked at Aaron Rodgers and said, at 41, who could still play, and said, we're gonna go in a different direction. We're gonna go in a different directions. But J-GILLZ, your thoughts on the disastrous exit of Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, that's another player, and Aaron Rodgers, man, what a great player. First ballot Hall of Famer, two-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. But he just bigger than the program. He's bigger than the program, and evidently, I mean, the words that he had for first-time coach Aaron Glenn to come out, on Pat McAfee's show and just dog him.
Really?
That was just that wasn't right, man. That wasn't right.
What did he say? I missed that one. What did he say?
Oh man, but he said that they called him in for a meeting. He flew in from wherever he was, to probably West Coast. Flew in to to the Jets. Had a meeting with the general manager and the head coach, and Aaron Rodgers said that within 20 seconds of them talking, Aaron Glenn leans in and said, "Do you still want to play football?" And then, Aaron was buffled, whatever, the words I'm looking for. He couldn't believe it. And then it ended up, not going right. And Aaron Glenn was just being pushy, and then it doesn't even know him. Why he said if they want to part ways, so why do you want to? Why'd y'all call me in here if y'all was going to part ways? I could have told me that over the phone. It's his sentiment, and it was what it was. But to come out there publicly and just go in on him like that, I'm like, come on, Aaron Rodgers. Since you've been to New York, you haven't done anything. You haven't done anything for the New York Jets but lose them games. You know what I mean? Granted, that the second season or the first season, you got that injury. We understand that. But after that, I mean, you wasn't going to the OTAs. You weren't locked in. You're just bigger than the program. You calling your guys in there, just bigger than the program. So for him to come out like that, to me, that was uncalled for, unwarranted, and it shows you why he's on it. If I'm the Steelers and I'm Mike Tomlin, why would I want him in my locker room?
Exactly.
I don't want him in my locker room. I don't need him in my locker room. He hasn't shown anything that he could produce. Give me Shador. Give me Shador Sanders. Possibly Russell Wilson might. They might get released. They got him, Jameis, and I'm sure they'll draft Milroe. I don't see them taking all three quarterbacks. It'll be another wave of releases. So, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to be that person for the Steelers. I don't see it.
Aaron Rodgers was in that interview, and he was just like,
take a few steps back.
He was just trying to understand how that was going on. He was like, I want to still play football? Huh? The old man like at me at old for football at 41. I can still sling the ball, man. What do you mean? I can make some things happen, but everyone with eyes can see say, hey, buddy, when you come in, people are excited, but when you leave, people are sick of you. But one person who we're not sick of has just joined the show, the one, the only, legendary sportscaster for TV4 in Buffalo, Carl Jones. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show.
Man, I appreciate you. Them kind words, man. You ain't had to do all that, man. But I appreciate you, though, man. I'm glad to be back, man. Y'all good people. I ain't seen y'all in a bit now.
It's been a while. It's been
a minute, man. I hope all y'all doing well. I will say this. The weather is turning for the better finally up here in Western New York. It's like, I don't know what it is over there in Rock, but that 60 to 70 degrees got my mood a little bit better, too.
I take it.
There you go. What's your take on the Bills draft? Who do you think the Bills are going to go for with their top picks?
Yeah, I think that they will lean defense for obvious reasons. It's the side of the ball that has really let them down in the postseason. If I had to guess today, they will prefer probably to lean up front. I think the strength of this draft is the defensive tackles and the defensive ends. But at pick 30, you're kind of at the mercy of the teams in front of you. So I wouldn't be surprised if they address that glaring need. They also have a cornerback, too, opposite of Christian Benford. And y'all know me. I like my cornerback. So, I'm hip to who's who and what's what. And the player that I really am a huge fan of is Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. He's a player who can do a whole bunch of things back there in the secondary. So, once again, they probably will lean up front defensive line, and I think that's probably appropriate because in the postseason, number one job is to slow down Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and obviously the king himself, Patrick Mahomes. But it'll be kind of cool as well to have some cornerbacks to slow down their weapons as well.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. I look at the excellent defensive lines draft, and it's a lot of depth. But to me, I think in that first round, you kind of gotta go secondary, in my opinion. If you can snag one of those top safeties, if a Malachi Starks drops or something like that, because I'm looking at that secondary. I mean, the Bills out here signing Trey White, Carl. They need some help back there. You know what I mean? You got Taylor Rapp to lean on, Damar Hamlin. And come on, man. They need somebody back there who can really get it done. I look at that defensive line, I'm with you. You got to get some pressure on those quarterbacks. But they did get Joey Bosa over the offseason, one of their key premier pickups. You leaning on your Ed Olivers and company. I hate to say it, but Ryan Miller's still out there. You'll probably get him on a discount. You know what I'm saying? But I look at that tail end of the first round. You get a guy like Nick Manari from South Carolina, a guy like Malachi Starks drops, and man, the Bills do like to trade up. Could you imagine if they went up and got a Jahdae Barron out of Texas? I mean, he fits that system perfectly. I just don't know if he's going to be there, but I think they definitely going to have to go secondary, whether that be cornerback or safety. But they got to get some youth up in there.
Listen, I will be through the roof if Jahdae Barron somehow ended up in Western New York. Big fan of his game. Remember watching him at the University of Texas. He ain't the biggest dude out there, but he don't play that way. If you just close your eyes and just hear football, he plays the game as meant to be played. Like the old heads say, back in my day, this is how we used to play. Well, Jahdae Barron plays it in that manner. So. Like you said, a bunch of directions they can go with. Safety is one as well. I don't know if that's where they will go first round, but I love Malachi Starks. I remember when he was.
Come on.
I remember when he was a true freshman and the plays that he was making, and then was waiting for this upcoming week. So for the week where he will become a professional athlete. A bunch of directions they can go. But once again. You, everyone at home, and then the Bills themselves want to know about hey, which defensive player are you picking? Because I think the offensive side of the ball can be put off until the second round and beyond.
For sure. I'm with you.
Unless
Tedero McMillan drop. Now, let me stop fantasizing about these for these Bills fans. Bills Mafia going to start tagging me.
Boy, J-GILLZ.
Go ahead.
Well, J-GILLZ, I know one player that Carl has mentioned, Trey Amos, has been mocked to Buffalo towards the end of that first round. Obviously, physically gifted, 6'1", playing out of Ole Miss, ran a 4.43 40-yard dash, has that long speed that we're looking for. But what is it about him that makes him so special there, Carl?
Yeah, I'm right with everyone else where his fit in Buffalo will be just like a hand in glove, right? There are two things because I've watched 21 cornerbacks now in this cycle. I told you I'm a sicko. Like, listen, if the Bills need a cornerback, I'm gonna watch because that's just the way I love ball. So, but back to Trey Amos for a second. There are two things that have my eyes to him. The first one is the fact that he is kind of scheme proof. My man can play zone or man coverage. He did a lot of good things about his ability to play press coverage and how he was playing off. And then when he was playing zone, he had a good feel for route recognition. That's not really common for a college kid because usually you just major in one thing. I know at Syracuse, we just majored in one thing and then dabbled and minored in the other. Well, Ole Miss, they gave their cornerbacks the ability to do everything. So I love that. And when you're coming to the next level already equipped to do a bunch of things on defense. But then another reason why I really love this game, and when someone says the word confidence, it's kind of hard to detect that when you're not in the room with the players. But at cornerback, I think this is the one position where you can tell, and it's based off his feet. You know how many times we've seen you can tell a quarterback is confident just by looking at his feet, right? His 3-step drop, 1, 2, 3, hits that back foot, the ball out. 5-step drop, same thing, ball out. The same thing applies for a cornerback as well. When you see him in press coverage or he's bailing out of there or he is backpedaling out of there, and he's within himself. It doesn't look like it's forced. It looks real smooth. It's kind of like your fingers on a piano. That's what it looks like at cornerback when you can tell a guy is real confident and patient. Christian Benford has that quality as well, where you can always tell that he's in control because of his feet. Trey Amos, I feel the same exact way when I watch him. I'm like, my man doesn't ever look sped up, and that's very important at cornerback because you're on an island half of the time, so it's forget the receiver across from you. It's you versus you, that you versus that demon inside of you every single rep, and I think he possesses that quality to be good at the next level.
And one thing when it comes to his story is that he was previously at Alabama. They had a lot of talent there in front of him. He transferred to Ole Miss, where he was able to go ahead and start and show off his talents. Now there's another player who also won that Heisman. Started at one school, went and transferred to another one. And who are we talking about? The good old Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter. And there's this thing about what position is he going to play? Wide receiver or cornerback? I'm of the belief that I want to see him at wide receiver, but I want to take our defensive back specialist. There you go. Carl Jones, please let us know your opinion. What do you think? Is he going to be able to do cornerback? Is he a wide receiver? Or do you realistically see him taking snaps on both sides of the ball?
Oh man, it's been a pleasure. I speak for everyone here and all college football fans everywhere. It's been a joy to watch Travis Hunter over the past 3 seasons, man. I mean, he's doing stuff that you don't see too often outside of video games. I mean, you've seen players play both sides of the ball, but not at the rate that he does, where my man never comes off the field. So I just want to give him his flowers from that perspective. In terms of his prospects at the next level, it's more than likely that Cleveland is going to take him, so I'm going to look at it from their lens. I think I will major as a receiver and then dibble-dabble as a defensive back for 2 reasons. One, they have Jerry Jeudy and not much else, and their offense was the worst in football last year. So putting him out there to give them a spark will be beneficial. And then also, they don't need corners. They have Denzel Ward and then 3 other players that they play a lot at cornerback right now. Right. So just there's not really room. Oh, my bad. There's always room for Travis Hunter. Excuse me. There's not a glaring, dying, begging need for Travis Hunter to play cornerback next year for the Cleveland Browns. But if it wasn't the Browns, I would have a reverse. I think he's that darn good of a cornerback. But for fit and for team, I would say the Browns play him at receiver, dibble-dabble at cornerback for just his. And I'll keep it short on his summary because I think everyone knows how great he is. His best trait, and I hate using the word generational, his ball skills and the ability to just pluck the ball out of there and just feel that S tier. Like, I wasn't privileged to see Randy Moss coming out of Marshall, but boy, golly, I know Travis Hunter isn't that far off in terms of just plucking the ball out of the air and demanding it. It comes in a different package. Obviously, he's not 6'4" like Randy, but it feels and looks very rare when the ball's in the air for Travis Hunter.
Man. Absolutely. And one kind of question I wanted to ask you, we had a retired defensive safety from the Denver Broncos on with us out in New Orleans during Super Bowl. We came on the show, and he made a good comment where he said, you can't have 2, he knows watching the Bills, you can't have 2 safeties on the field at the same time where both of them like to bite. They like to bite, meaning they like to go after the first move, and they react to the first move of the quarterback or what they see, or the wide receiver or the receiver. You can't have 2 of those guys on the field at the same time because it's gonna cause problems. And we were definitely talking about Taylor Rapp and DeMar Hamlin. Both of those guys love to bite at the first move. Is there any way possible that you see both of those guys possibly still being with the team or starting this coming season?
I think if you were to ask the Bills on April 19th, their ideal plan for the upcoming season is Taylor Rapp and Cole Bishop. I think when you take a guy in the second round, you prefer him to play year 1, but if not, he needs to be on the field by year 2. So they're going to give him every opportunity starting next week at OTAs up until training camp to take that job from DeMar Hamlin. His athletic ability and profile projects higher than a DeMar Hamlin, right? And you spoke on Taylor Rapp, who isn't the most athletically gifted guy either. He's more athletic than DeMar, but I think Cole Bishop is the model for what you're looking for back there at safety in the NFL. He's quick, He can run, but there are some other finite nuances to his game that he needed to clean up, and is why he didn't start all year as a rookie in 2024. So I think if the Bills had a choice, Cole Bishop will be starting side by side with Taylor Rapp, unless, like you guys mentioned 10 minutes ago or so, Malachi Starks somehow ended up in Western New York.
Wow, and that would be massive right there. The Bills need a shot in the arm right there. So it's going to be interesting to see what takes place. And we look forward to having you back on, Carl, after the draft, once they get into that rookie mini camp. And I know you're going to go out there to One Bills Drive and check out the rookies and everything. And we'd love to have you back on the show to give us a report on what you saw from your eyes as a defensive back, a starting defensive back with Syracuse University back in the day. Give us your expertise here on Real Deal Sports Show. How can people follow you, Carl? Man,
y'all can follow my work on X. I got to stop saying Twitter. My bad, Elon. Don't get mad at me. On X at Jones11_. I'll be doing a lot of, up until the day of the draft, I'll be giving out a lot of reports and comments on the cornerbacks, obviously, in this class. Like I said, I've watched 21 of them. Not all of them, I believe, will be a fit here in Western New York. Not all of them do I think are on the Bills draft board. So that's what I'll be pumping out there. And then, like you guys just alluded to, if and when they take a cornerback on day 1 or day 2 of the draft, best believe I'm locked in, diving into even more tape just to give you guys at home a little taste and a peel back behind the curtain of what type of player the Bills are going to be getting.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show this early. I know it's early for you, but hey, they appreciate you coming on Real Deal Sports Show. And we'll see you in about 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it. Y'all have a good one. Take
care. Have a great weekend. All right, guys. The music. J-GILLZ, quick basketball as BacSpin joins us.
And NBA playoffs starting today. Some great games, man. For me, I don't watch basketball until right now. And you know what? It's a good reason for that. We got Ant-Man versus Luka and LeBron. We got the Beard, James Harden and Kawhi taking on the Joker. You know, we got the Rams. Excuse me, the Rams. I see Rick Tony on the screen.
Hey, Rick Tony.
Sorry, listening audience, but we got the Rockets going on against Golden State. Man, that's just the Western Conference. There's so much to talk about. We'll definitely get into it next week when some of these games. Oh man, we got the Knicks in Detroit. It's going down, y'all. Watch the NBA and tune in. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what's going on. We'd love to get your feedback for next week.
All right. And remember, I'm still 3 weeks in a row. Jackie Robinson Day was this week, April 15th, on his birthday. Everybody wore number 42 because you got to remember this man, what he went through. Most of us couldn't have went through what Jackie Robinson went through when he came on to be the first black player to integrate to be in Major League Baseball for the Brooklyn Dodgers. What he put up with, can you imagine what he went through, the sacrifices he made? So we always got to salute our own Jackie Robinson. Thank you so much for having the character, the courage, and just being that type of man that could take that type of situation. Because I know J-GILLZ, I couldn't have took that. So we salute Jackie Robinson once again. The last 2 weeks, we dedicate the show to Jackie Robinson and his memory of moving us forward, not backwards.
No doubt. Radman, IP, the one and only J-GILLZ.
IP was on fire this morning.
Yeah, y'all was smoking, man. I enjoyed the show, very thoroughly enjoyed the show. That's what Real Deal Sports Show is all about, though. You guys, what's the motto? You're telling them what you know, not what you heard. We ain't telling you what you heard. We telling you what
we know.
Absolutely.
Real Deal Sports Show to B1055. Thank you, fellas. We're gonna check back in with y'all next week for some good sports talk. You heard?
Absolutely.
Sounds good to us.
Keep it where you need it, Rock City. On the way. We got the bag of time. Make sure I got the will to pay the bills. I'm going to do just that. We'll be right back. It's the Beat 1055.